here believe that monogamy should definitely be part of any committed relationship? Let me hear. How many people? Okay. But how many people in here ask the question, is monogamy really possible? Maybe a lot of people asking that? Well, I'm asking it. You know, many of us believe in monogamy, but what do you do when you discover that your mate has been cheating on you? What do you do if you think your mate might be cheating on you? I mean, can you ever regain that type of trust again? The reason I'm asking the question is because I recently visited Ivana Trump. I went over to her house here in New York City, and I sat with her, and I said, Ivana, please tell me, how in the world did you possibly get over all that public display of cheating in your first marriage to Donald Trump? Here's what she said.
When I found out that my husband had another relationship, the trust, and that's the word trust, was broken. Once I cannot believe in a person and what he's saying, what are his intentions, I cannot continue this relationship.
You know, Ivana, so many women who are watching our show right now have been in a situation where their hearts have been broken. They have lost trust in relationships. How were you able to pull the pieces back together, regain trust, regain faith in relationships to move on to be happy?
It took me personally 5 years. I met Ricardo in about a year after my divorce, and Ricardo proposed to me, and I said, Ricardo, I'm really not ready to get married because I have been burned, and I would like to have a relationship. I adore you, I love you, but I'm not ready to commit myself because I'm scared. I'm scared.
Do you think monogamy is realistic?
Well, you must believe in it in order to have a relationship. I do believe that the people should be faithful to each other, definitely.
And how many people here agree with that? We should be faithful to each other, right? Okay, well, hold on to it. After today's show, you're either going to have more faith or you might just give up. We hope you're going to have faith. I want you to meet Rebecca and her husband, Joe, from Chicago, Illinois. You know, after 14 years of marriage and 3 children, Joe started to assume that Rebecca was slipping around on the sly. Why did you think Rebecca was having an affair on you?
Well, I just want to first say that I'm not here to bash my wife, that I do love her with all my heart. And she started working after the kids had gone back to school. You know, that was our plan from the start. You know, why should you stay home? You know, make money if you want, a little bit more to help out. Well, we just kept living paycheck to paycheck, and her hours were late nights, and there was times that she'd come home later than what she was usually coming home. You know, it was just very dependable. But when that started happening, then I started to wonder if something maybe was going on. And we had planned to move to Phoenix, which was one of our lifelong dreams, and we still are going to do that. But what it came down to was she's from California. She hates the cold weather. So she kept telling me, oh, we got a chance, we can go, let's go. We're going to go. Let's get out of here before this winter hits, right? Well, then it turns out, you know, she took off with the kids, and out of fear, stuff that I had said or done that maybe got her a little bit scared. And
so what I hear you saying is you guys have been planning to move to Phoenix, and then that was a lifelong dream. Then all of a sudden, Rebecca didn't want to move to Phoenix anymore. In fact, Rebecca was out getting very involved with a new job.
A lot of new friends.
A lot of new friends. She was. Your body had changed.
She lost
you were losing
50-something pounds in like 2 months.
She was changing up. So Joe, that kind of made you feel insecure. I understand one day you went by her office and she slapped a high five with one of her coworkers. And what did that do to you?
Well, I don't know. There was another incident where some of the guys, it seemed like some of the guys didn't even know she was married. You know, and we'd walk in and I wondered why that. Well, she's not going to tell everybody her business. But then other people would come up to me and say, well, no, I never knew she was married. And she looks very beautiful and young as it is. They'd even tell her, you know, you can't have a daughter that's 13. There's no way, you know. And it was just certain guys would make innuendos towards her. I started getting maybe a little insecure. I had put on a little more weight since high school, of course.
So all of this insecurity was making you believe...
certain things started coming into play. Plus, I was raised that, you know, like, you're the head of the household. You know, you're the breadwinner. It was kind of hard letting her go back to work, and it was working out so well with her, but we had to work around her work schedule all the time.
So, Rebecca, what was going on? Were you having an affair?
No.
Not at all. But things got so deep that you started, I mean, it was as if you were. I mean, things got so difficult in your marriage.
Things started becoming there was a lot of tension that was growing, a lot of stress, a lot of arguments, and when that happened, I've thankfully broken out of this, but I went to where I closed up. I shut down inside, I shut down in my heart. I didn't talk, I really didn't communicate. I did lose like 53 pounds in a small amount of time.
53 pounds is a whole new person there.
Yeah, and all these things that happened, I mean, I know how it looked, but at the time I wasn't able to look at him and say, look, this is the situation. You're hurting me with what you're saying. Had I been able to do that, our lives would probably be different now.
Rebecca, I understand there were so many times when Joe said, are you having an affair? I mean, the way that if you've ever been in that situation, you might have found yourself at some point in a point of desperation with somebody you care about so much, you just finally say, are you doing it? Are you having the affair? And you wouldn't answer him. If you weren't having the affair, why didn't you say, honey, let's sit down. What's going on here?
I answered him, but it was more in an argument or a fight rather than just a calm adult. It was kind of like we were like going back to high school and grade school, and the biggest thing that I really regret is having not just stood there and said, look, let's talk about it in this fashion.
It got to a point where Joe was even afraid that you were poisoning him. He wouldn't eat your food. Look, Joe got to a point, y'all, look, check it out. Joe said, no, I'm not coming to dinner. Check this out. Joe said that he would sleep at night and said Rebecca would roll over and her arm would just go like this, and he swore she was hitting him in the middle of the night. You had lost trust already without there even being anything.
There was a lot of trust that was lost. There was a lot of feelings that just were put aside and hidden.
Well, I want you to welcome Chicago divorce attorney Jeffrey Leving. He says that monogamy, folks, is not in any way possible. In fact, he believes that more women are cheating these days than men. Jeffrey got quite a reaction, and this man over here shaking his head. Why are you shaking your head like that?
Girls can do it on the low, and they know they won't get caught, you know?
Well, you know something, Jeffrey says that more women who are cheating are letting folks know they're cheating. They don't hide it like guys do. And this woman says, and why are you clapping back here? Why are you clapping?
Because it's time for us females to get even with the fellas today.
Whoa! I see some guys going, oh, it's going to be one of those kind of shows. Jeffrey, what do you say? Why don't you believe monogamy is possible?
I believe that monogamy is very problematic in our society, and as proof of this, look at our country. Right now, we are the world's leader in single-parent families. Approximately 30% of all families in this country are headed by a single parent.
But does that mean that that's monogamy? I mean, lack of monogamy that broke up a couple?
I believe that's directly related to adultery. And from my practice, and I'm not talking about just one attorney. I have 11 attorneys in my firm. We concentrate in divorce and custody. We handle cases not just in Chicago, but in other states as well. And from my experiences, the majority of cheating, unfortunately, is being done by women.
Now, how do you say that?
Well, in our society, when we grow up, boys are taught to look at women in two categories. Either a woman is a virgin, or she is a whore or a prostitute. So when men marry, they marry.
What? Wait, come on. What are you saying? Come on. Stand up.
Yes, I totally disagree with your statement. How could you say that we're whores or prostitutes?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
yes,
that.
you're labeling us that.
Boys,
if we have
you have to listen to what I'm saying.
Okay,
that's not what I said.
Let me hear the question again.
Okay, what I am saying is that when boys grow up, they are taught that there are generally two different types of women. Now listen carefully, because I don't want this to get twisted. I am not calling women prostitutes. We are taught that there are two types of women, and there's a woman that's a virgin, a mother, and then there's a woman that is a prostitute. Well, let me finish, and you'll find out. So when men marry, they often marry women that psychologically become their mothers.
Do you agree with that?
So
I totally don't agree with that. I think your views are totally archaic, and just because a woman sleeps with somebody, it doesn't make her a whore. I mean, that whole virgin when you're married thing is
you're not even focusing on my comments. My comments are not attacking women. I have never said a woman is a whore because she sleeps with a man out of wedlock. What I am saying is that in society, boys are taught that when you marry, there's a certain type of woman you marry, and there's a certain type of woman you don't marry. So because of that, when men marry, they marry women that become their mothers, so it's very difficult for them to cheat.
What do you say?
Well, being a mother, a single parent, I would never raise my son to see women and those two characteristics. I'm going to teach my son to see women as his equal.
Well, when we come back, we're going to meet a couple, and both people in this group believe that, they've admitted they both cheated on each other. One revealed the consequences of cheating for revenge. Who knows why the other cheated? We're going to talk about that and find out how Rebecca and Joe were able to pull back together. Do they still trust? Is monogamy possible after the even thought of affair? Right after this.